Lomzy team, it's your girl Lomzy. I'm back again with another sewing tutorial on how to sew this Bubu dress. It's a kimono dress with a spiral flounce. So I'll be showing you how to sew this dress. You have been looking for a channel that will help you with clean finishing. This channel is your channel. So subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of my sewing tutorial. Now let's go into today's sewing tutorial.
We're going to be using full length width of ankara, and I've folded it in 4. You know ankara is by 45 or 46. You fold it like that, and you're going to mark half-inch allowance for your shoulder seam. So I'll mark that, and that's where I'm going to be starting my measurement from, my vertical measurement. So this is where I'm going to be starting my vertical measurement. That's to take the length of the dress. So I am going to be marking the neck width. The neck width I'm using is 3.5 inches. I'll mark that. For the back and front, and I will mark the neck depth for the back 1.5 inch. I'll connect that. For the front, I'm going to be using 5 inches. I'm going to be connecting this here like so. Next, you mark for shoulder sloping. You take it down by 4 inches and you connect that. I'm going to be marking my allowance so I don't forget. So make sure you mark yours when you're cutting so you don't forget. Next is you mark where you want the fitting to be. For mine, I want it to be at 40. So that's where I'm going to be marking it on. You can take yours up or you can bring it down. Depends on how you want the fitting. So I am going to be taking the measurement I want to take here is 13.5. Why I'm taking that is so that the person will be able to walk. And I'm going to be taking it down. So you mark it there like so and connect it. So this is where I'm going to be marking to start my spiral flounce from. So I'll just curve this here. From here I'll curve this to give it the shape I want the flounce to take. So you have to notch this place when you're done. So I'll be cutting this place off. Remember to cut from where you have given your seam allowance, and that's where I'm going to be cutting from. Don't make that mistake, because if you make that mistake, the length of your dress would be short. So you don't want the length of your dress to be short. And also when you're cutting the back neck or your neck, you also remember to add your sewing allowance. So I have cut the back. So I'm going to be cutting the front. For me to cut the front, I have to remove the back. But let me notch this place before I do that. So I'll be removing this back like so that I'll be able to cut the front. So you go ahead and cut out the front. So I'm going to be adding the spiral flounce here. So I'll fold my fabric in two. The length of the flounce I'm using is 6 inches, and that's what I'm using. My sewing allowance is already in, so I'm going to be marking 6 inches round this. Just watch what I'm going to do here now. Take your 6 inches round, not complete round. Just watch as I'm going to do it. So you have to connect from this your circle, you connect it back to this place, and then you continue with your 6 inches all through. Just continue going round and round that until you come to the end. So I'm going to be connecting this. As you can see, I can't get any other 6 inches, so I'm going to be connecting this to this place. Let me do that so you understand what I mean. Yeah, so this is where you're going to be cutting it out from. So let me cut out the flounce. So here you have to, anyway, just watch what I'm going to do. Yeah, this is how you're going to cut it. So you have your 2 edges of the spiral flounce slim. So you're going to notch the middle of this so that you know where you're going to be adding it to the shoulder. So I'm going to be notching that there so that I'll know where the middle is. The next thing we have to do is to join it. So I'm going to walk you through how to join this. So if you're the type that sew with clean finishing, come along and sew clean with me. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and do so, because I teach sewing tutorials and I upload every week. And the most importantly, I make sure you sew with clean finishing. So subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell icon. So first you have to do is to join your shoulders. You join the 2 shoulders and you join the flounce. As you can see, I've joined mine. I have to show you something when you're joining this. When you're joining the lower part, you join it straight to that notch, that place that we have notched it, and you stitch it very well there. So you hold it in place, because this one is going, the allowance of this one will be going inside, while the side of the flounce would be outside, right? So you sew it there very well. So I will show you how to make the bias taping for the neck. So you fold your fabric like so. You make sure it's stretchy like this, and you iron it so that you have a straight line. I'll be cutting on fold like this so that I can have 2 strips. So I've ironed it. I like to fold it so I have smooth edge and it's easy for me to cut. So I'll be cutting 1.25 inches. 1/4 inches. That's what I'm going to be cutting, because the bias I want to make on the neck will be 1/2 inch, and the sewing allowance I'll be using is 1/4 inch. So that's why I have 1/4. So I have cut it out, and I'm going to be separating this. I'm going to be cutting it in 2, because I told you I wanted 2 straps so that I will be able to join it. So I will join it like so. So for you to have a clean finishing, when you get to the edge where you started your sewing, you leave 1/2 inch. If you see what I'm doing, you leave 1/2 inch like this and give 1/2 inch allowance, and you sew it inside. You see here, you sew it there. When you sew it there, then you continue with your sewing. So your sewing allowance on the bias would hide inside, and you have a clean finish. So most times I like to check if I have enough allowance, and you can see is enough. So you cut out this excess and continue with your bias. This will give you a very clean finish. So you turn it 2 times to finish with your bias tape on the right side of the fabric. You know, that's why where I chose to have my bias facing, not on the wrong side. So I will hem the lower part. What I added as the sewing allowance, the hemming allowance is 2 inches, so that's what I'm sewing out like that. So I will also add the bias on the spiral flounce. See how I'm going to be adding it. I won't start from the beginning, because just like I explained to you what happened on the neck now, that's the same thing you're going to do to this bias when you get there. You have to also join it like that so that you have a very clean finish. So now we are finished joining them, both the bias on the neck and the spiral flounce. We have added everything and the dress is almost ready. So we are going to be marking from here upwards. We are going to be stopping 14 inches from the shoulder measurement. So I will show you what I mean, so that you give the dress shaping. So you measure there, from there to this place, like 14 inches or so. You mark that and you connect it to that place where you started your curve for the spiral flounce. As you can see, this is a Bubu dress, so that's how we give the shaping on Bubu dresses. So I'm going to repeat this same thing I did here. I'm going to be repeating it on the other side. So when you're done with both sides, you will just need to do is go to your machine and sew straight from here. You sew it straight. As you can see how clean this is. If you want to sew clean with me, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell icon. You can see how nice this dress is. I'll be dropping my link to all my social media handles in the description section below, so you go ahead and connect with me. And if you have any question or anything you want to ask that in the comment section. Bye.